Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today's story is one of those rare moments in South African public life where politics, crime fighting, social media drama, and a surprising act of generosity all come together in a single headline. It involves a tough-talking police boss, a controversial ex-personality, a crowdfunding campaign, a herd of cows that never arrived, and the children of fallen police officers who are now set to benefit from a remarkable turn of events. The central figure here is KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, a man whose name has become increasingly synonymous with a no-nonsense approach to crime and corruption. Over the past few months, Mkhwanazi has made headlines for refusing to shy away from calling out rot within the police ranks, even when it meant taking aim at some of the most powerful names in the security cluster. Most notably, he held a media briefing on July 6 that set tongues wagging across the country. It was, in a word, explosive. During that press conference, Mkhwanazi laid bare a string of allegations against senior officials, including none other than the now-suspended Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu. The allegations painted a troubling picture of interference, misconduct, and deep-seated corruption, the sort of claims that make headlines, trigger political feuds, and give newsrooms their lead stories for the week. Now, this kind of boldness in South African public service is not exactly an everyday occurrence. And it turns out that some members of the public, especially on social media, decided that words of praise weren't enough. They wanted to show their appreciation in a way that was, well, distinctly South African. Enter Chris Excel, a controversial ex-user known for his sharp tongue, viral tweets, and a knack for stirring online debates. Chris launched a crowdfunding campaign on BackaBuddy, with a goal of buying the general 2 cows. The logic was simple: in African tradition, gifting cattle is a gesture of respect, honor, and recognition. The campaign gathered momentum faster than a Joburg taxi on a green light. More than 430 individuals contributed, with donations trickling in from across the country. By the time the campaign hit its stride, it had raised close to R44K. For weeks, the chatter online was light-hearted, a mixture of admiration for Mkhwanazi and playful banter about how the cows would be delivered, where they'd be kept, and whether the commissioner would give them names like corruption and crime just to symbolically slaughter them. But, as often happens on social media, the mood shifted. Some donors began asking questions. Where exactly was the money? Were the cows bought yet? Could Chris provide proof? In the absence of immediate answers, suspicion began to spread. A few voices accused Chris of running a scam, pocketing the money, or simply dragging his feet. The controversy gained enough traction that it risked overshadowing the original good intentions of the campaign. And here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. General Mkhwanazi himself stepped in to clear the air. In a public statement, he not only confirmed that the funds were accounted for, but also expressed gratitude for the gesture. However, he made it clear that he had no interest in accepting the cows. Instead, he proposed something far more meaningful: with the donors' permission, the money would be redirected to the SAPS Education Trust Fund. For those who may not know, the SAPS Education Trust exists to support the children of police officers who have died in the line of duty, covering school fees and other educational needs. In a country where crime remains a daily reality, and where the families of fallen officers often face financial struggles, this kind of support can be life-changing. Mkhwanazi's decision essentially transformed a symbolic gift into a tangible investment in the future of young South Africans. And just like that, the cows became classrooms. The campaign shifted from being a quirky cultural gesture to a story about legacy, community responsibility, and honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Even Chris Excel, who had been taking heavy fire from skeptics, came out of the saga vindicated. Mkhwanazi publicly thanked him for his role in initiating the campaign and for engaging with the donors to ensure the funds were handled transparently. It's worth pausing here to reflect on what this says about public trust. In a time when so many leaders are viewed with suspicion, and corruption scandals seem to break every other week, acts like this stand out. Mkhwanazi could easily have accepted the cows, posed for a few photos, and gone on with his work. Instead, he chose to redirect the goodwill towards something that benefits others, specifically, the children of his fallen colleagues. That choice, in itself, sends a powerful message about priorities, accountability, and service. The reaction from the public has been overwhelmingly positive. Many have hailed Mkhwanazi as a rare example of integrity in the security sector. Others have suggested that this is precisely the kind of leadership that should be encouraged and rewarded. Social media timelines, once buzzing with suspicion, quickly shifted to praise and admiration. Of course, it also serves as a reminder that online spaces are volatile. Public opinion can swing from celebration to condemnation in a matter of hours. One day you're the people's champion, and the next you're fending off allegations of being a scammer. In this case, the truth prevailed, but not without a few digital bruises along the way. So, what can we take away from this? Firstly, transparency matters. Whether you're running a multi-million rand public budget or a small crowdfunding campaign, people want to know where their money is going. Secondly, leadership isn't just about big policy speeches, it's also about small, meaningful decisions that reflect character and values. And finally, when the cows don't arrive, sometimes it's because they've been turned into something even better. This story might not bring down a corrupt network or solve the country's crime crisis overnight, but it's the kind of positive, people-focused leadership we don't see often enough. And in a political climate often dominated by scandals, that's worth celebrating. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into this uniquely South African tale of cows, crime fighting, and community, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you have preferred the general take the cows, or do you agree with his decision to donate the funds? Let's hear it. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you next time.